Good morning. All right. First thing is somebody's asking for some help with the things. So what do we got here? Let's see. So what you've got set up is the testing playlist. All right. So we've got the sunny day map. That looks good. We've got the testing playlist. All right. So we've got probably what's going on here is this include default options is what's going to be screwing this up, because it's going to grab all the extra options and combine them with your options. And there's a lot more custom options than there are. There are a lot more default options than these custom options. The other thing is every collision you've got here is jumps. So what's going to happen there is only one of these can ever be selected. Oh, the other thing is you have always in rotation true here, so it's always just going to select your custom mode, supposedly. Let me just check your names here. All right, so your server config. Well, you probably don't want these set collisions here, because basically what this will mean is none of these options can happen in the same, can be in the same game. So you can never have less stun and go faster because they have the same set collision. So it's like, okay, if you pull fast heavy ball, you can't pull anything else that has jumps as a collision. All right, so we've got playlists. The name looks correct. So let's look at the bot challenge playlist. So for the bot challenge playlist, because I know this works, and it's only going to select the things in here, what I got is include default modes false, include default options false. So you need to set default options to false. Yes, you can just leave it empty. Just get rid of jumps and leave the two brackets. So default options false. Options for next match, I would put 5. You want 5 options for the next match. 2 options here for the next match is only going to have two things available for the next match, and it's just going to grab like the first 2 here, I believe. Like, yeah, so that's not going to be super great for you. In fact, it's only going to grab 1 because it's going to grab the previous match. So yeah, it's not going to work. So this needs to be 5. I'd put 535 in here for these values. I'll just send this file back to you. I think that's pretty much what you need. Because we don't want these always in rotation, because the custom modes will take every single slot that they can. We want a lot of random option sets, so we actually pick some of these up. And basically, the set limit, it'll roll between 0 and 5 and apply that many options if it can. So if you've got it at a low number like 2, half the time it's not going to select anything. Alright, so today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be working on Maelstrom's telemetry system. And I have talked to their producer guy about streaming development, and he says it should be okay. But we'll see if I don't accidentally give away information that I shouldn't be. They said it was fine, so it's their fault, right? I have no culpability for anything. Oh god, all the passwords. They also don't have the best security in the world on all their crap, so yeah. So hopefully I don't flash anything stupid on screen. Alright, so what I need to do is I want to put together basically the telemetry stuff for them. So I've got a telemetry reporting system on their clients and their servers, and I've got a telemetry collection server putting stuff into S3. What I need now is some ETL jobs that are going to come by and pick up all that information and do something useful with it. So we've got the objects here. So Maelstrom report objects. Basically what I'm going to need to do is make a new table which has all the information from which I can build heat maps and other reports. So I'm basically going to try to make one big row system that has all the critical data for them for their basic match and session stuff. So we want the user session. Yeah, so we have user session events, and then we have the, I guess, game session events. So game session events, meal reports. Yeah, I spelled it wrong, and I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it like that. It's gonna be meal reports instead of mail reports. Tables, databases. So. So this object, I'm going to need lots and lots of pieces of this. I should figure out what I even have in our telemetry details. So let's see. We've got all these things. I'm also going to need to go through and when I find errors, get fixes for them. And is Adam back streaming? I'd assume so, right? I'll just ask him how the stream's going. So he's doing his own thing. He has no idea what's going on with this stuff, does he? Already with the defensiveness at him, I see. Where's this layer? Alright, let me jump in here. Hello, sir. Alright, well, so let me just clear my throat. It sounds like you got a couple things. The none icon. It looks like when I was saying doing multiple things, it sounds like in some situations you're trying to remove the icon, like the mission selection. For completion, it's better to have nothing. Makes it cleaner. But in the mission, like the post-mission screen, the reason for the none is just like, hey, you did win the mission. If there is no rank for it, then you passed, you actually won, so I wouldn't want nothing to show up there. Yeah, I'd assume some of these missions don't have that many ranks. It's like either you got, master tier or not. So the none is just if you passed it. So if kind of the ask is, I don't want the small icons to show up or something, I think that might be what you're really going for. Yeah, so it makes sense. So you want basically just the styles for the single player mission and some of the small icons, just no image is what it sounds like. Well, the none stuff has its own style. You should just be able to, not have an image. You don't need a 1 pixel thing. It should just be no image. Yeah, he's toast. Well, I think they have none. If the default is none, then yeah. Well, it depends on the rank there. Some of them are separate. Well, go through each. Don't. Some of the other things would be if they need to be separate for the mission selection screen, and you're having trouble because all the screens are using the same pictures. Just start using separate pictures for them. Fail, right? Fail. You're saying right before the call you didn't. There was something about the fail icon or something that didn't make sense. Well, what's the context? Yeah, if you completed the mission, yes. I mean, the objective success. So it's just a different image, but you don't think it needs to be. That's probably why I put them there. It's just they're separate things, so I didn't want to tie them together for no reason, or I didn't think about it when I put it in there. So, well, you have two separate images right now, or are you pointing them to the same thing? So when you fail the current mission, it shows, there's a thing to the right of the current rank for the post mission screen, which says if there is a next mission or not. A next stage, sorry. So when you fail, this image pops up as opposed to like the, dot dot dot. So you can, leave it blank if you want to, or you can have something that's like, oh, you didn't make it, can't go to the next one. No, it's not that you failed. It's just signaling there is a next, and you can't go to it. As your current rank. That's what you achieved. Yeah, you won. Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know. You seem to be pretty down on people if they don't rank that they shouldn't have a celebration. I mean, they did beat the mission, so like, I wouldn't just be like, well, you know, it's like it's like Office Space, right? You know, it's like, well, 14 goals was the bare minimum number of goals. Some of us like to not just pass. All right, cool. Anyway, did you have any trouble with the persistence stuff, or have you tried it out? Yeah, I saw. I was like, lucky shot, you bastard. No, no, I saw the screenshot. 6 seconds. Yeah, yeah. Excellent. Seems legit. So yeah, I think the missions are at a point there where I think we can actually make missions. Yeah, can you just double check that the export missions button works for you? Yeah, I started organizing them kind of by category so we can keep them a little more organized. Well, the stuff I have there is really just all testing. So if you're going to make new missions, I would make new missions as opposed to editing the ones I've got. Yeah, it should be if you right click in there somewhere. I would make a new category, yeah, a new folder first and throw something in there for you. But it should be under Dashkin, I believe. I was just doing MS and then basically category name and then like some 01 through whatever sort of thing. Yeah, one of the other things is you can copy paste every section here. So if you want to just snag like the first mission and just paste it in here, you just right click on the mission in mission 1 and the the other thing I saw is that there is there's the grid view for editing things, like this tree view that you got open right now that kind of opens up with all these subcategories. I'm pretty sure that the grid view thing, you can customize a view and have everything like nicely organized to help with how cluttered this is. I don't know how to use it very well though, so I can't really help you there, but if we're going to be doing a lot of missions, we're going to need to learn how to use the damn grid view. Or our eyes will have to adjust to the madness. Yeah, so make sure those names that you're doing there for ball control, etc. Keep those as all code names, because you'll be referring to those in like the unlocked by and stuff like that. Have to refer to other missions that exist. So if you change a mission name and then the export will be like, I can't find ball control with the little c. So try to keep it easy for yourself. Yeah, you'll have to start editing the enums and then regenerating the code for the game to see new drop downs. Yeah, so I just keep it simple to start with, to get something out the door. It's probably 1.5. Yeah, I needed that because of the validation stuff. Otherwise, I don't know if it's just a busted mission or not. never see it. Yeah, if you don't have a result tier, you'll just automatically get what you qualify for. So if you, it'll take the lowest one that you achieved. So if you have bronze, no silver, but you've got a gold, and you make bronze, you'll get silver. Because it's like, okay, well, you made bronze, but there's no conditions for silver, so you just get it. Try to think like a computer, you know, turn your brain off and get the ticker tape going, and that's about it. That's how it works. I would always use what is best. You know, like if it's, I mean, you could put equal to, but you know, if somebody scores 2 goals in the same frame, then you're fucked. So, you know, just always put the thing that'll work, is my opinion. Just in case, you know, somebody comes out of left field and does some weird shit you don't really want to. Yeah, so you'd have to put it in the like fail conditions. So if you don't want any cutscenes, I would put none. I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter if it's none or undefined. But, eh. You'll have to be more specific in the result tiers. Yeah, it's an and operation, so you have to satisfy both conditions if you put 2 in there. So, yeah, I'm thinking you probably want to. I would kind of come up with a pattern that works, such as something standard for it, as maybe certain tiers are usually time based and certain tiers are usually performance based. So it might be like, okay, well, if you're really good at scoring lots of goals or doing, you know, that thing, then you'll pretty much always get master level, but unless you're fast enough, you'll never get the maximum level. So, I don't know. That might be one way to differentiate between, well, yes, you're skilled, but you don't have that one thing yet. The color scheme is the color scheme that will be used for the level. So you can define those color schemes now, if you remember. There are actual color scheme objects in Unreal that have like the ball color and the outline and everything, and that's what will be used for the stage. Because it was way too much of a pain in the ass to have all 30 of those options in one place. So, it's not under result tier. Yeah, this view is, maddening sometimes. Reset level is if it's basically good for that cutscene sort of stuff where there's an objective, go to the middle of the map, there's a fat sack there, then you play a cutscene, and then it dumps you right back where you were. So you'd have reset level false, because you don't want to reset the player, you don't want to do anything to level, you're just playing a cutscene and advancing, whatever game mode options you want. So that's what it's for. So keep it true unless you're trying to put together a story event sort of thing. You don't have to worry about that one. It's basically if it has a next stage. Before I had persistence, that's how I did persistence. So some of these in there, like mission completion stuff, some of those are pretty obviously just like, oh, this was persistence, but it's not used anymore. Yeah, same thing. Pretty sure. Yeah. I'll write it down to kind of go through and mark those. Go through and mark on, like I said, debug options in missions clearly, so they're not just hanging out there being dumb. One is for stages, one is for missions. So, yeah, it's probably easiest to, it'll take them the lowest rank. So, if you don't put any victory conditions for a mission and you only have one stage, it's the same thing. So, that you have one stage really doesn't matter right now. And in fact, maybe more correct, the mission level tiers I would use for more complicated missions that have multiple substages. Such as you have to, if you have 4 stages in there, and you can actually lose 2 out of 3 of the games, like that's, you would have a mission level tier of, win all 3 games, and the stage victory conditions would have, just that, like the time is out or whatever. So you can possibly do stuff where, like, you get through all 3 stages within 90 seconds, you get master tier. So that's more what it is for the stage level conditions, so don't worry about them unless you're trying to do something complicated. No, I would do the opposite. You just did the opposite of that. You pasted the stage into the mission, I believe. Words are... No, you should be using stages. Mission level tiers are for when you're trying to do some meta level ranking. Probably stream delay, so sorry if I'm saying things. Mission completion. Let me see. You've got best tier. All right, so I think it's ranked stat. Yeah, locked and completed. No, that should be fine. I think mission completion, you should probably be able to ignore everything in there. Same with cutscene completion inside of it. I think that's all transient data, so... It's a lot of columns. I mean, some stuff might show up in the not show up in the UI. Like if the stage name is blank, there won't be a stage 1. It'll just be mission 1 blank in the pre-stage. You need to define the unlocked by. Should be at the bottom. So if this is the first mission in a category series, then I would have always unlocked. No, just look lower. You need to get rid of that. That unlocked by level that you have that's blank, that's going to be a problem. Export missions generate code is for enums and other things. All right. Yeah. So what's in the output log? Yeah, so objectives, you need to have at least one. But you need an objective. No, it's under objectives. Well, that's why I put the warning stuff in there, because it's, yeah, and you definitely want a name for that first stage. And there should be an objective on the level. Yeah. Yeah, what? Because the objective is a line item that's human readable to tell the person what to do in the stage. Yeah, because we're using all these, machine understandable victory conditions, but that doesn't translate into anything that people understand, because people are not machines most of the time. Well, if you go back to the objectives, is there? Well, just type objectives in the top. Stop. Yeah. Like, I can't see because of your overlay. Can you just drag the whole window over to the right like an inch? Yeah, so there's no objective on the mission. Just the bottom. Yeah, you need one in both. Yeah, because they're separate screens. Do you have Perforce properly open and all that? You might need to have Perforce open before you open the Unreal Editor. and make sure it's... yeah, that's probably what's going on there. Yeah, so the generate missions there, the export missions, I guess, is what it does is exports all the JSON files for the missions and then does a reconcile on the directory so that everything can get checked into Perforce properly. So if Perforce is not set up properly on your machine, or there's something different that I do for Perforce than you do, this is where it would happen. That's where this would come in. You know, what does it say? I mean, can you go to that directory? The Dashkin game data missions directory, open up a command line and run just p4 reconcile? Yeah. P4 reconcile. Yeah, Perforce 1666 is not the right host. So Perforce isn't really set up properly on your machine then, is what's going to be going on. So one way you can, basically you need to open up Unreal from within Perforce. So one way to do that is to, let me just make sure this works on my machine. So what I would do is go into Perforce, and then in the folder view, go into Scripts and Development, and right-click on Dashkin.bat and go to Show and Show in Explorer. Well, actually not Show in Explorer, open command window here. And then run Dashkin.bat. I would close the Unreal Editor you got open right now. Dashkin.bat. Yeah, well, it just means the other tools aren't going to work. Because how Perforce is basically supposed to work is that it figures out these tickets and all this stuff, and it's not doing that, then scary things can happen. So yeah, yeah. So basically, what the reason that worked is because when you opened up the command window, it opened up from within Perforce, so it got all the right Perforce information passed to it. Um, so that's probably what you should be doing. Other than that, you'd have to set environment variables. Let me double check what exactly those are. Yeah, I don't even have P4 host set. I've got other stuff. Yeah, it should work. So you should be able to run now and play your mission. Pick the wrong map in the drop down probably. Uh, so I mean, basically just that's what it's configured to do right now. So I would write down a list of